Welcome back to another cubic function lesson with me, Mr. Simons. Now we're looking at the solutions for problem 9 and 9 and 10 of worksheet 1,13. This is a common exam question where we say show that there's only one solution, right? So this is the fourth variation of how we change these questions. And again, by now I assume you know how the cubic function trap detector works for x-intercepts and y-intercepts. My trigger cuts x-axis, x-intercepts, roots, zeros of a function, right? We should know x-intercepts, y will always equal 0. Y-intercepts, x will always equal 0, right? Cuts the y-axis, y-intercept, etc. where the graph crosses the y-axis. Right, so let's look at problem number 1 for 1 mark. Given f of x equal x cubed minus 9x squared plus 20x plus 27x plus 37 equal x plus 1, x squared minus 10x plus 37. Now all of a sudden nothing wants to come right out of my mouth. These things happen. No? 9.1, write down the coordinates of the y-intercept for 1 mark. So my y-intercept, x equals 0. So wherever I see x, I'm going to place 0. 0 squared minus 10 times 0. So I have 1 times 37, which then gives me 37. So my y-intercept, 0 and 37. By now, I assume all of you all know how to get this 1 mark. If you were by this video, you should know how to score this 1 mark. Now the second question is where the variation comes in. Now for 9.2, show that x equal minus 1 is the only real root of fx equal to 0. So where y equal to 0, we're looking for x-intercepts. So they're saying when I solve x plus 1, I'm left with x equal minus 1. That's the only one solution. But x squared minus 10x plus 37, I must show that it can't be factorized. Right, so again, to get the x-intercept, because they use the word root, x-intercept, y must equal 0 or f of x equals 0, either one, whichever one you write. So x plus 1 equals 0. If I take plus 1 over, it becomes negative 1. So there's the solution they've given me. We take x squared minus 10x plus 37 equals 0. If there's only one real root, I have to show using the discriminant that this here ends up giving me a negative value, which means it has non-real roots. If it has non-real roots, it can't be factorized. So the discriminant equal b squared minus 4ac, b being negative 10. Please, very important, the sign and the value together. So if it's 10 and it's negative 10, I'm using negative 10 squared minus 4. My a value is 1 there, and c is 37. Right, negative 10 squared gives me 100. Minus 4 times 37 gives me minus 148. So 100 minus 148 gives me negative 48. My apologies, which then means we have non-real roots. It can't be factorized because my discriminant is negative. So 1 mark for substituting, 1 mark for noting that it has non-real roots. There, my other mark for equating to 0. We can't give you a mark for that solution because we already told you that is the solution. All right, so I hope you follow. So it's a very common exam question. Show that there's only one real root. That is how we would show it. Let's look at another problem, number 10. Given f of x equal minus x cubed plus x squared minus x minus 3 equal x plus 1 minus x squared plus 2x minus 3. Write down the coordinates of the y-intercept, so it will be 0 and negative 3. Or we can place y-intercept, x is 0, so 0 is me 1, negative 0 squared plus 2 times 0 minus 3. Alright, that gives me 1 times the negative 3, which is negative 3. So my coordinate is 0 and negative 3. Question number 2. Show then again that x minus 1. Remember, if I solve this, it would be minus 1 because 1 goes across and it becomes negative. It's the only real root. So once I use the word root, you should remember x-intercepts. fx equal to 0. My y value must be 0. So again, x-intercept, y equals 0, x plus 1 equals 0. If I take 1 over, x is minus 1. Then I have minus x squared plus 2x minus 3 equals 0. 1 mark for equating both equations, or both brackets equal to 0. Then I'm going to use the discriminant because they said only one real root. So I have to test whether my discriminant is negative. All right. So b there, plus 2. So plus 2 goes in, plus 2 squared. Minus 4, my a value being negative 1. So please, the sign must go in. And my c value being minus 3. So that gives me negative 4 times negative 1, which is positive 4. Positive 4 times negative 3 gives me negative 12. 2 squared gives me 4. So 4 minus 12 then gives me negative 8. The fact that the discriminant is negative 8 means I have non-real roots, so it can't be factorized. So 1 mark for equating to 0, 1 for correct substitution from the equation in discriminant, and 1 for noting that it's non-real roots. All right. Hope you follow. In this worksheet, I've done your basic 4 variations that we use to test the exam question. All right, practice, work hard, do the sums over and over till they stick in your head, and you will be successful. All right. God bless. Bye.